Hi, so welcome to part 3 of organizing your photos. So the other video, we talked a little bit about naming your four main file folder. We already placed the original files in the original file folder. Here I went ahead and I converted all the DNG into with the DNG converter app. So I placed a link in eCentennial, so you can go there and download that and convert it. I just find it's neater that way, the system, than having Lightroom do the conversion. Okay, so if you converted your images in with DNG converter, you just select your image and then drag it to Lightroom and then have it open. If not, just open Lightroom and then import your images. Okay, so if you haven't converted the DNG, you would click on copy as DNG here. But if you have, like me, I'm just going to click on add. Okay, so right now I just want to make sure I add. I'm going to add it to a new collection called Digital Darkroom. Week 10 or assignment 2. Create. So if you notice, it's already created a new file under Smart Collection. Right here, metadata, I have commercial. If you didn't do this, you would create new metadata, right? Put your name and fill in everything that's in red, okay? So we've gone over in the class, go back to the lecture notes to see how to fill it in. So next, and most importantly, is the keywords. So for here, I would say girl, red clothes, right? I would say portraits, and maybe multicultural, biracial, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is a general keywords. We're going to go in and add additional keyword to specific images later. Okay, so once you're happy with the keywords, click import. Okay, all the images are import. So adding specific keywords would be, just take this example. I would add floral background or pattern background. Okay, so that way, if I'm looking for a specific girl later with a floral background, I can easily type that and everything with floral background or a pattern backdrop would appear. Okay, so now we're done with library mode. We go over to develop mode and quickly edit. So I tend to photograph things a little on the dark side, just with my own habits. So here I lighten it up. So we're just going to do basic editing for true colors here, okay? Make it a little wider, make it a little punchier, come down to clarity. So clarity plays with your midtone. So when you boost clarity up, all the midtone gets enhanced. Okay, so that's about it. I might want to make it a little bit brighter. Maybe that, but not too bad. Okay, so I'm done editing. So edit all the images with basic editing. And once you're done, pick 3 images that you want to edit in Photoshop, your final 3. So I'm going to use this as an example. I'm going to edit, right click for the option, and click edit in Photoshop. With Photoshop, so it'll prompt this Photoshop window. If you notice, there are tools here, the panels are here. I'm going to do a quick editing just so you know. So this is the adjustment layer menu. We're going to click on it and we're going to click curves. So I maybe want to brighten it just a little bit more. I want the film and grainy effect, so I'm going to lift the blocks up so there's no true block. I like it a little bit more saturated, maybe dark stuff, just a tad. Such. Okay? So click on watch the other video for Photoshop editing or basic Photoshop editing. This I'm just going to want to quickly show you the workflow from the beginning to the end. So here, we just pretend that we finished, we're happy, I edited her and I'm really happy with it. I'm going to save it now. So I go up to Files, and here's an important thing. We're going to save as on your computer. So we're going to save as, here is the switch, working files. We want all Photoshop layer files saved in the working files. So we're saving working files, TIFF, layer TIFF, and make sure your color is embedded. You can also save it as Photoshop if you want, but in my own practice, I just save as layer TIFFs. Okay, so save. Okay, that's fine. It's going to take a while to save. Okay, it's done. So we're going to close Photoshop and quit Photoshop for now. This Photoshop takes up a lot of RAM. But if you notice, did it? Where did it? It just took a little while to import that file that we just saved. So here's the original, and then it automatically created another copy and placed it in Lightroom. Okay, so here, and what I do last and very last is cropping. Okay, so if I need to rotate or crop, I would crop it before I export this image. So cropping is the last thing I do. So right here, I'm going to click on it. I'm done. I'm happy. I want to create a web copy and a print copy. I'm going to right click if it's on a mouse and export. I'm going to export location. I want it into this file folder. Right. Let's double check it's in the right folder. We want it in the final images. We're going to do a print copy. We're going to choose. For print, if you select TIFF, it automatically gives you Adobe RGB 16 by no compression. We need to make sure it's at 300 resolution. Everything's fine. And then export. Okay. So while that's being exported, we're going to create another copy. I'm going to export this as a JPEG. CC automatically say sRGB 1 to 72 for web. For your own purposes in this class, web should be 72, no higher, because if it's higher, it's just a lot of memory for no reason. But again, I depends on your client. If your client might want web output at 300, and I've got requested, I got assignment requests with that specification. So, you know, they're your client, so just do what they're asked. But 300 for web is a little bit, for me at least, it's a little bit overkill, right? So, so again, for web, in my class at least, it's JPEG. Is when once you select JPEG, the color space automatically goes to sRGB. Make sure resolution is 72. We're going to put this file. We're going to put it under web. Okay, and then export. And there you go. All right, so that's the end. Now if you go back to the file folder, we originally started off with 4 different folders. We have our original images here that we took with the camera. We converted to DNG. Our Photoshop working files here. and a file image to send to the client here under print and under web. Okay, so take a screenshot of this if you're with Mac. If you're not, if you don't have Mac, then unfortunately you just have to take a screenshot individually and then submit it. Okay, so that's end-to-end workflow, a digital workflow system that will help keep your image neat and tidy, and then you know where to find your images. I have a lot, in the past, I have a lot of students that would come into the class and ask me to help them find images. It's because, you know, they would, assignment is due, they did the assignment and they docked it all on their desktop. When they're done, they would delete it off the desktop or move it and forgot where they moved it to, and then they come to class and I'll spend another half an hour trying to help them find where they docked these images or where they moved it to. Okay, so always think about it, don't rush, think about your workflow, organize it nicely so you can easily come back to it. Okay, so check out the other videos for Photoshop editing.